What's up, guys? Craig Mack 378 here, coming to you today with a new deck tech. This one we're calling White Walker. It's a white weenie deck that's running 5 main deck Planeswalkers, and they're the new ones. It's Gideon and Little Teferi. So this deck we just 4-0'd the Aetherhub tournament with, and it's really strong, really fast, and actually I haven't lost a game with it yet. It's been about 11 matches. I'm sure that's going to go down, but it's a little more mid-rangey than the old white weenie decks. And but it's explosive, it has great sideboard options, and I think it's a strong choice for the current metagame. And you'll see why. So I'm going to pop out here and open up the old deck browser, and you guys can check it out. Come build with me. All right, guys. So let's just pop into the old deck browser here and open her up. So White Walker. I did a deck tech on another straight white weenie deck that we ran earlier in the season. Still good. This one's just a little bit different. So we have the bodyguard still. Obviously, we don't have to go through all these, but a 2/1 body with a relevant ability, very good. Law-Rune Enforcer is amazing, and it's I was testing it before. Now I'm just going to straight that you should have 4 of them in your deck. Survives Chain Whirler, can block 1/1s, and also just swings the Gruul matchup to actually makes it kind of favorable now, since you can tap their Gruul Spellbreakers, you can tap their Chain Whirlers, you can tap their Phoenixes, and you can just keep attacking through. So Law-Rune Enforcer, very, very strong card in the white weenie deck right now. I suggest 4 of them. Legion's Landing, don't need to go over that, but 4 of those things if you're going to run white weenie. Skymarcher Aspirant, I still think this is the choice of the card. You can run a Snubsworn Sentry, but it's an 0/3, and it is, sure it survives Chain Whirler, sure it survives Cryocridarium, but it's going to be an 0/3. The only time it really ever turns is in a standoff, and that's, you don't want to play for a standoff and it turns against another white weenie deck, or ascends. I don't know, 0/3, not my bag of tea. Skymarcher Aspirant allows you to win games that you normally wouldn't win. We're running 4 of them. Adanto Vanguard, Adanto, Tidetaker, or Tomiko. Right now I'm going to run the Adanto because with the rise of Grixis, there's less exile creature, and there are a lot of damage stuff, so Adanto can keep attacking through a lot of things. If Cry keeps popping up, then we'll have to adjust, but Tide dies to Cry too, so Adanto right now is the choice. Benalish Marshal, 4 we're running white weenie, we're going to go with that. Alright, so Gideon Blackblade, I love this card. 2 or 3 of them, I would suggest. I'm running 2 right now, and it's been it's been a good number. Gideon is more of a 4-drop than a 3-drop. I learned that during this tournament, and you'll see. If you drop on turn 3, you usually don't have a way to really have a way to protect him, so they're going to swing back on him right away. But when he hits, and it's and the game's not, game's evenly matched, it's very, very strong. I would consider even running 3 of them. Gideon's been fantastic in this deck. It adds a whole nother avenue attack for you. So yeah. History of Benalia, we're running 4 of those right now. Now, when I talk about bumping one of these things, we have a lot of 3-drops, like a glut of 3-drops. Play around with these numbers. But right now we ran 4. It was fine. It worked for us. But with Deputy Detention rearing its ugly head again, History's, it's still great. It's still one of the best white cards, but I'm just wondering if we can play around with the numbers here. So that's something to consider. Teferi Time Raveler seems out of place in this deck. But Little Teferi is, Little Pump. He's really good, and he's really good against control. He's really good against turns. He's not good against red, obviously. But he's not necessarily bad. So you're still gonna play something, bounce something, and it's gonna fog for 1, or something of that nature. But against control, it's a backbreaker. Against turns, it's a backbreaker, and it's an easy splash. And I think the card's really strong, and it has been. You won't see much of it in this tournament, but before these videos, it was really kicking ass for me. So take a look at that, try it out. I think it's well worth the splash, and well with the main deck. Conclave Tribunal is 3 or 4. We can bounce something with Teferi, so we're only running 3 now. The 4 Loxodons, and then the 20 lands. In the sideboard, we're gaining the Dovin's Veto, which is really strong. And not running Dovin's Veto seems like a huge mistake for me. Like, being able to just say no to a Kaya's Wrath, no matter how much mana they have, no matter if they can counter back, is really good. So I think you need 3 of those. That you could even think about running 4. The Tocatli Honor Guard is a nod to the Chain Whirlers, and nod to Sultai decks that are still running around, thanks to Brad Nelson. Baffling Ends, you bring those in against almost every creature deck that runs small creatures, so you bring them against Gruul, White Weenie, and Mono Red. And then Demystify is also a nod to the, obviously a nod to the turn deck for Wilderness Reclamations. Sideboard's pretty straightforward. I like sideboards like this, so we're not splashing 2 or 3 of. You're not changing too much of the deck, but you can still get it done. So that's what we're running, guys. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut up the tournament footage from the Aetherhub tournament this weekend. You'll see some matchups against Gruul, against Bant mid-range, against Red, and against a pretty cool mono black deck that somebody is running. But you know, you'll get the 3 tier 1 decks for sure, and then the oddball deck that you're bound to run doing tournaments and stuff like that. So yeah, so come check out the footage, and I hope you guys like the deck. Thanks a lot. All right, guys, we're going to jump right into this, and I sped it up, and we're going to do the voiceover over it because I had music on, and I don't want YouTube to block it. So here we go, right off the bat, we're going to mull. So we mull down to 6, it looks like. Decent hand. I keep the Gideon on top. I don't know what he's playing yet. Hello. Always say hello to your opponents. Lead off with the old Legion, just in case they're playing duresses. You don't want to get duress out of your hand. Black, Fountain of Renewal. Don't know what we're playing here. But we're just going to lay the beats down and hope we're okay. This is actually a pretty strong start for me. I'm pretty happy about this. But another Fountain of Renewal. What I'm really worried about here, I want to flip that, but what I'm really worried about here is obviously Cry of the Carnarium. Mono Black tends to have those. He gives me a nice, and then he drops the Cry. Cry is bad times for Becky. Cry always kills you guys, so you always want to make sure that, you know, you accept that it's a fact of life and move on. Can't dwell on it. Gideon starts working in with the big old Dumbo there. Dumbo will not die to Cry. Then he tries to well, I don't know how to pronounce that Lich thing. Not good. This doesn't look good. There's a lot of answers I have in here, mainly Conclave Tribunal on either one of these things, but when you can't be prepared for everything, and obviously I wasn't prepared for this. This is one of the strengths of a deck like this that Adamant's playing here. It's you don't know what the hell it is, right? So you're not prepared for it, and you don't really know how to play against it. But we should be able to steamroll it if we get a decent hand and they don't get a Cry. Unfortunately for us, they had a Cry. We still have a decent hand, but that guy's got a fat ass. Our poor... I think about blocking here. I'm not sure what I decide here, to do it or not. The idea back there was I could double block. I could block that guy, save the Gideon, use the Exile the next turn. But I decided to just go for this, and I think it was the right play. I just didn't, you know, you can't count what's in their hand. But another blocker here from him is pretty damn strong. And the top deck, it must have been a top deck too. Let's see. Yeah, Ritual Soot. Even just the Soot would have been fine. But now we're in deep doo-doo. That guy flies. But still, those Hallowed Fountains over there are putting in work. This is a long first game, guys, so bear with me through this one. This was one where I'm trying to figure out what the hell we're playing against here, and also how I can snatch a victory from defeat. We're okay. We're just going to take some damage here since essentially we have the active Azcanta, so we just want to kind of build an army here and try to swing back. And it's a top decking war, but with the top deck that we're doing right here with the active Azcanta, pardon me, with the active Azcanta, we're still okay. Because he's probably going to draw more powerful spells, right? And he's gaining life. He's got way bigger creatures, but we can still keep on shitting out, pardon my French, lifelink dudes and go from there. This one's kind of backbreaking because this allows us not to attack into this. Adanto is okay. Again, not so good. Adanto is one of those cards that you want to be turning sideways, so you kind of need to be ahead to have it, or you need to have something that's bigger than 4 damage. So like if he's playing something that's a 7/7, you can chump and make him indestructible. Chewing on my nails because that's what I do. I'm terrible. Okay, so Adam draws, seems pretty happy. Drops the old treasure map. That's going to give him the long-term advantage here, which is not good for us. But what are you going to do? Here we are. We have no cards in hand. So sweet Nicole Bolas avatar, though. I'm pretty happy with that. They cover up his dick chin, so that's good. Got to double block the old menace guy. Gain 2 life. This is, like I said, slow opening game. The next two go pretty quickly, so just bear with us through this one. Alright, that's a good Mize, but it's still not good enough because of the 5/5 indestructibles. He's pretty happy about that, but... Can't do that. Can't attack into the 5/5. So here we are. Gonna keep cranking these out. Stretching it out here, guys. Doing the old waifu stretch. Getting a little bored myself. A time roller. Now, I had a lot of ideas here, so the best play with this was the best play by me. I should have held on to this, and I should have upticked it. I don't think I would have won the game, but it would have given me a better chance. I got a little like excited here, and I was thinking I could swing in before. I don't know what I was thinking, actually. I think I could swing in before the contempt. I should have had a different line in my head. I should have upticked that, sat back, and tried to draw a Conclave Tribunal and got rid of both those Fountain Renewals so I could get rid of both those tokens. And then both those Liches die, and then we're in really good shape. But I don't think I drew a Conclave, but you want to keep that avenue open. You don't want to give yourself a shot. I mean, right here, I'm pretty much dead. All he needs to draw is a Ritual Set or a Cryocarnarium, and he's drawing... he has the option to draw multiple cards with the treasure maps and the Fountain Renewals, especially now since you can sack one of the fountains because you can have 2 tokens on the other one. Although that doesn't matter, so scratch that. Sounds good. Maybe I should have sped this up to 4 speed. Alright, so happy with this. Could pull us out. And again, all he needs is he's drawn a massive amount of cards, and all he really needs is a Ritual Sit or a Cry. I'm streaming this too, so sometimes you'll see people pop in, see me talk here, see a couple of my my emotes. And fountains again. Fountain on me is tough. We would have killed him 10 times over without those fountains. And when he starts casting, tapping a lot of mana, that's when we know we're in deep shit. Deep doo-doo. Mumbling to myself. I think he's kind of rubbing it in now. Yeah, there's the Cry. And the Cry really puts me in a bad spot here. It means I have to double block. I have to lose the Marshal. So it's pretty much game over. It was pretty much game over, obviously, before that, but I never drew the Conclave, so that line that I was talking about earlier didn't really matter. But it's always good to play with a victory in hand, right? A way to win in hand. Here I'm dead no matter what, so even if I play the Loxodon, I'd have to double block the Knight, the Zombie Knight, and that's it. So we're going to sideboard in here. I didn't see any Ravenous Chupacabras, so no Tocatlis. Dovin's Veto is pretty house here. I think I also sided in... What did I just pull out of my... I sided in the Demystify, so this is a big bonehead play by me. So I sided in all those Demystifys thinking they hit enchantments, hit artifacts for as well. I just didn't think, and I'm lucky I didn't draw them in this game. I don't think I drew them in this game. And I bring in the... the Time Ruler is pretty piss poor against him, so I take it out. Since I slowed down on the 1-drops, I pulled my Loxodon, a couple Loxodons as well. Not sure if it was the right call, but again, I have no idea what I'm playing against here, so just trying to guess it. The Demystify was a pretty boneheaded move here, but we did it, so we're showing you guys. This is a pretty damn good opener for me, as long as he doesn't have a Cryocarnarium. But you can't always hope. The way I play these decks is you can hold back a little bit, maybe, but you got to play with like you got to play like they don't have it if you're gonna have any chance of beating a control deck with a white weenie deck. There's times you can get grindy with it, but this ain't it, fam. Just drop your shit and go. You know, right in the face here. That's it. I was excited since as soon as he tapped that, I knew he didn't have to cry. And at that point, it's pretty much over. And especially since I drew the Veto here, my demeanor changes. Keep the 2 mana open, and it's ball game. Nay. Nope. 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 Hell no. Whack. Buddy, whack it. All right, so that was about as quick as you wanted to go. Still got this going. Sometimes I forget that I have my emotes going, right? So I realize the Demystify error here, right? Luckily. Audible out of those. Demystify, not Demystify. I'm an idiot. Demystify, pardon me. Waldo MTG always cracks on me for that. All right. What happened there? Oh, we lost my monitor. Hold on. There we go. Don't mind that. Still going? Still recording. Good. Monitor went blank on me there. Again, this is not a good hand here. See how slow this hand is? I missed what happened. I think I mulled the 6, but I'm not 100% sure because my monitor went black. But here, we're going to keep going. You know, this is live. This is a live commentary, so bear with me. I could have done the I could have dropped the elephant there, but we did not. The thematic compass, I think it is. Is that what it's called? Thematic compass. Anyways, the compass is a really good card. I'm not quite sure why it's not played more, but it absolutely should be. It is pretty backbreaking against creature decks, and it's good against control decks as you thin your deck out from lands. Maybe it's because everybody's playing 3 colors, but the compass is a very good card. So, hat tip to old Adam Ant for running it. This one I'm not so sure about because, again, he's got more cards than me. The Loxodons are a bit slow. The Veto's fine, but I don't know if I should have vetoed there, honestly. For obvious reasons. I only lost one guy. I only lost a 1-2. Probably shouldn't have. It's always good to rewatch your games, I guess, like this. I probably shouldn't have. I think I knew a red immediately when I did it because I could have held the veto up in here. Which would have been a much stronger play. Pardon me. So here I'm thinking maybe he's got me because this is gonna get this is getting ugly. I don't know why we didn't contempt the. Oh, I know why. It shows up later. It's something that's pretty cool. So that wasn't a misplay on his part. He's got a line, and I don't know if it's the right line, but he's got a line. He's gonna start untapping me. Here's where I start wondering if I'm going to be able to pull through this, or we are going 0-1 to start the tournament. I don't know if that was a sarcastic nice, but he's going to windmill slam down, I believe, an Immortal Sun here. Now, what's cool about the Immortal Sun is it stops activated abilities and not stop static abilities. So Gideon's just going to get in there. I'm not sure if he saw that, but if he did, God bless him. So we can continue a clock here. I can drop this and still have mana to make a 1-1. So all in all, pretty good spot to be in here. There's a cry. Not going to do enough. Just going to wipe out the tokens. And I'm wondering if I should take the Immortal Sun. Just takes a card from him. I decide not to. And it turns out that he gives me the GG. And ball game. All right, so there you go. That was one. That was a weird one to start with. Obviously, the first match was the long, draggy one. That's how it should go. All right, so on to our man, a.k.a. Flower. And we're on white. We don't know he's playing yet, obviously. He gives me the dreaded Mountain Firebrand. So this is an interesting matchup for us. The fact that he didn't want to take that guy out, we're not gonna voluntarily block the 2-1 for the 1-1 here. So we're on the play against a red deck on the play here. Like we're in great shape right now, mainly because we're gonna be able to Dumbo here, and we're not gonna get hit by the Chain Whirler or Chainy Boy. That's why being on the play against red is so important. What am I thinking about? A.K.A. Flower really goes deep in the tank on a lot of his turns here to figure out the correct play. Here decides to yank him. I think he's going to pull him in response. He does not. That allows me to set up a big Dumbo drop here. And at that point, I mean, I'm rocking because I don't know if a Chain Whirler comes out. I'm not attacking into it. But see, I've got the Law-Rune dude. And that Law-Rune guy allows me to just keep swinging into shit. So it's a phenomenal card, especially for a 1/2 1-drop activated for 1. It taps down pretty much anything, so man, it's good. Again, deep in the tank here. Getting anxious. This is double speed too, so single speed, you can imagine what we're doing here. My hand is pretty, it's a huge tracts of land. Good thing we get to flip this. He's getting double wrap it up B. The old Mac double there. Big Mac double sounds pretty good right now. All right, still contemplating what's going on here. Don't know. Wrap it up. Can't imagine what could be going through someone's mind at this point. I mean, I guess it could be a chain whirler and do a skewer the critics, but I don't know. Again, shock on him. Fine. Get rid of the lifelink guy. That's not a bad idea. Skewer on him. That's fine. Get rid of the tapping guy. So now I do put him on a chainy boy because he probably wants to clear the fences here. I think about swinging here, but I'm putting him on the chain whirler, so I want to make sure that I get some 2/2 lifelink guys here and a bigger guy. We're at 20. It doesn't really matter. 21 we were at, so that should induce a scoop. And indeed it does. So we're going on to game 2. So against the red deck, the Tocatli come in and the Baffling Ends come in. All right, and then we pull things that are worthless, such as Teferi. We pull the Vanguard because Vanguards, you don't want to be tapping and swinging into a red deck with those things. Like sometimes they're fine, but that 4 life that you pay every time really adds up quickly, guys. So you got to be careful with that. All right, going right into this one. I got a mull off the get-go. Don't like mulling off the get-go. Now I'm thinking about keeping this. I'm on the draw, so I'm going to keep it because that's actually a pretty strong card against red. Leads off with that. We lead off the Law-Rune, and this is one of, I believe this is a very burn light hand for him, so he can't attack into the Law-Rune. I probably would have blocked there. I wouldn't have blocked if he had 3-mana open to give him the free chain whirler. Kill with the chain whirler, but here we are. Same situation here. I probably wouldn't block here to give him with the Law-Rune. I'd probably block with the Tocatli. But I don't think the Tocatli is long for this plane. But that thing shuts down both the Chain Whirler and the Pyromancer. It turns the Pyromancer into a pretty dog shit card. The War Boss, I don't like siding in here. This seems like a mistake. And it was. He oopsed. You don't think he just lost that guy for no reason. Baffling End on the old War Boss, and I think the rest of it's kind of again, you never know, but I think it's the rest of it's kind of just cleanup duty here. Never mind. And you keep this 1/2 back mainly because you want to keep this guy honest. That's usually my strategy. I'll push when I need to push. I'm not going to attack into nothing for no reason. 1 point of damage. You know, you can't account for everything that this guy's got in his deck, especially at the board. So just want to keep it open. At this point, I'm willing to swing. We're going to flip it. He shouldn't have left me flip this, especially with that lightning strike in his hand. But he did. Here we are. C'est la vie. Now we're in good shape. Still in good shape. Make a dude. Swing with 2 of the guys, so I want to keep the pressure on, and I believe he's going to block. That's why he kept his guys back. I'll probably lose a guy here, but I can still. I'm confident that I'll still be able to get a Loxodon off for at least 2 guys. And if I get those 1/1s, to lifelink guys up to 2/2 lifelink guys, we're in really good shape. He rightfully waxes one of those. But at this point, that's pretty much ball game. He is at 15. But it would take even if he drops a Frenzy at that point, with 1 land. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so now we go to play Carrie, who's a Mythic Michaela, who is one fantastic Magic player and has a great streamer. If you guys get a chance to check her stream out, I recommend that you do. She's very knowledgeable, very fun, and yeah, and just so check Mythic Michaela out, and you'll get a kick out of that. There's that beeping again. I do a bunch of misplays in here because I'm goofing off because she's actually a friend of mine, so you'll see small misplays. I'll point them out. There's a couple big ones. You'll see that Deputy Detention against us is still backbreaking. It wasn't in the beginning. I wouldn't have done that here. I'm not a fan of. I mean, I guess you're worried about a Baffling End, but you can hold the mana up. It's not an end. I'm not going to double it up, and I feel like that. The 2 extra damages are kind of robs you of your tempo. I always feel that way with the Growth Chamber. I think the best thing for a Growth Chamber is obviously against a control deck, where obviously is an army and a can off the top deck. But again, I don't know what's in her hand. Here we are. A Crisis for 2. Again, here I might have dropped the maybe she was light on land, but I might have dropped the Growth Chamber Guardian there as well. I know it's mana efficiency, but against me, a big, even a 3/3 Crisis is pretty strong. That's a pretty strong turn for me there too. So, but you'll see this is bad. I believe we get deputied here. I'm just screwing with her here. Obviously we're getting, and there we get the old friends hand job there. But I do like it's tough. And then she rightfully keeps the pressure on with the 2/2s. You always do that. Here's where I make the mistake. Or I don't make the mistake. I think that's fine. That was the correct choice there. I'll let her get the 2/2. And mainly because it's going to tie her mana up, and we're pressing big time here. Like, this is a big swing. And she has no blocks. Because that's the 2/2 still there. And I didn't want to lose the Marshal that turn. And I'll let her have a 4, because that's the only way I'm going to race this deck. Again, this is another newer deck. Time Raveler, fine. The big issue I have there is it can bounce that Tribunal over there, but it doesn't really matter because that Tribunal is holding a 2/2 again. All right, Druid, I believe, is just out there to block. So we keep the pressure on with that 2/2. I got a choice here, right? So I can either drop that and swing into these 2, right? And I think that's a decent play, but if I drop the Tribunal, she has to block with those 2. So she loses both of them, and she loses the mana from that thing, and that seemed important to him. So I'm going to go here, pull that, and just swing in. I don't have to worry about the Raveler until it hits 3 again. So Ravelers, obviously, they're fine. I think they're a really good card. I just don't think in this matchup it doesn't shine. But it drew him a card. It drew her a card. And it also gives her an option later in the game to bounce one of these things to keep her in it. This is the other problem here. So when you draw these Growth Chambers, you don't want to draw them. You want to draw 1, right? So she's got 4. She got all 4 of them out of her deck already. I think that'll become a sticky point for her later. Being at 8 worries me. We're just going to swing in here, I think. Yep. Force the blocks. This one, that thing's a mistake. We don't have another one in our deck. They're all gone. So Army in a can there doesn't work. We'll go to game 2. Still not sure how to sideboard against that deck. I'm not sure if it's running... in retrospect, it probably should have brought the Honor Guards in to stop the deputies. And the Wild Growth Walker, if they have them. I'm not sure if they do. I could have easily done it. I did not. Chose not to. I think I get kicked in the balls by the deputy again. So, cold in my house. Turn on the heat, brother. Here's a little bit of knowledge. Yesterday I electrocuted myself. That was the first time. Fixing a light socket. Thought I had it grounded. Did not. Zap myself right to my ass. Still breathing. That's good. I'm not an electrician. I will not make a video for you about electricity. So, look, we have this one is as slow as shit hand, and I kind of know that going into it. And having the history being my main threat really opens me up to the deputy again. That card's good, man. I'm telling you, Law-Rune, baby. It's a whole different, opens up a whole different avenue of attack for the white deck. Now, if she pumps the brakes at all here, we're in great shape, right? We can just start tossing out Dumbos left and right here and just cranking things up. Problem is she doesn't, because she's got a decent hand, I believe. It's interesting doing these commentaries over your videos, guys, because you notice a lot of things you could have done differently and a lot of errors that you made. I thought about right here. This is the mistake I made because this was a terrible mistake. Look, this was just a misclick too. It wasn't even a mistake. That was just a straight misclick. Here we are. Bonehead. And then right into the deputy to compound it. Oh, did you make a mistake? Here's a square kick in the nuts. Dumbo. Even here, I'm like, oh, this might work. But we are pretty behind in tempo here. And I make another big error here, too. It doesn't wind up at mattering in the end. Doesn't really matter in the end, just like Liliana. What's he got going on out there? But I should continue to leave one man open here to start tapping the Hydroid Crisis now. I do not. Pardon me, I also do have a cold. Another deputy. Double deputy. Tocatli should have been in here, guys. Here's the big one. I should have left the man open there, and I should have baffling ended the. I could do the crisis, but I can tap it down. That's what's going through my mind right now. Except you get Frilled Mystic. Frilled Mystic. Yikes! You side that out against me, Michaela. You do. You don't believe that in against a white weenie deck. Works out well here, but Steven, right here, I should absolutely leave one man open to tap that crisis again. Or I do, but I forget to do it because I'm angry with the Mystic Stink, because when I go on tilt, I lose. Right there, I notice it. I'm an idiot. Not a complete punt, because I think she still had this game. You'll see why. But not a good play. Let's just leave it at that. Not a good play. But Lyra, the game winner, will come down and mop this one up. I can tap one of them. I could have lived one turn, maybe, but all right, concede. Tilt, tilt, tilt. Craig goes on tilt. I always lose. All right. On the play, I want to be more aggressive. That's what I decided here. So I'm not going to bring the Honor Guard in. I'm just going to try to side out some of the other stuff and just go aggro again on this and see what happens. Now, White Weenie and in general and the red decks, the reason that they're so good earlier in the seasons and so good in general, especially in ladder and tournaments, is sure they're not as powerful as some other decks, but the main thing you have with these things is just the ability if somebody hiccups at all, you win. So you can play through land screw as a White Weenie deck. A deck that is counting on 4 or 5 mana, if they hiccup on you, it's pretty much game over. And this person, and Michaela's shocking herself over here, right? Having that Baffling End is pretty strong for me. Night of Autumn. Night of Autumn's fantastic. That's good, but you'll see the Time Raveler will come in handy here. I'm not even going to use the Tribunal here because neither of those threats really worry me. I'm confident she needs a 4th land. Melissa's played 2 spells in 1 turn. She draws her old Raveler here. Putting that one back, I probably would have put the I probably would have put the 1/2 one of the 1/2 backs. Maybe, I mean, like, that doesn't really slow me down that much. The Skymarcher. And what do I decide to do here? Yeah, I decide to go here and pump the brakes again. Or do I swing into this? I think I might swing into it because who cares? I might lose the Dauntless Bodyguard, but it's not really on anything important. We're going to press the advantage. But I would probably get rid of the 1/2 that has a coming to do, you know, that will suffer from being summoning sick. I'm not really attacking your life total at this point. Alright, so this is good. I can Raveler, get rid of that Dino, and we're, you know, we're doing good. This point is pretty much game over, right? Another Raveler. Also, on her side of the board, I probably would have sided the Raveler out. But maybe there's just nothing else on the board. I don't know what the board of that deck is. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? I'm thinking, yeah, swing. There's no need to attack the Raveler. It's only good against me at 3. I'm worried about Time Warp, because I know these decks do run Time Warp, but yeah, we have 2 Skymarcher Aspirants to drop after that. All right, that's game. On to the game 4, the decider match here against Tom Locke. Kind of a weak hand here for me to keep 4 lands. I don't like mulliganing 4 land hands, especially if I have a bunch of early drops. I like to believe in my deck. Again, this is the old Law guy, Law-Rune, whatever he is. He is fantastic. You know, like, think about this. This used to just stop us from attacking forever. Now we can attack and do it. You know, like, it's not a huge deal for us. Like, it makes, you know, tapping one of these guys down is pretty house. This is when I realized Gideon should not be played on turn 3. I should have pumped the brakes there. It allows him to really whack him and me have to chump. That was kind of silly of me. But again, new cards, you got to learn them. I'm a little worried at this point. I'm wondering if I should use this on anything. I'm going to go with the old 4/4. Keep a man open to tap things, swing in like this. I mean, that's pretty strong. Tap him down. Man down. Gideon just fell off that Pegasus. Alright, that's pretty much ball game there. Start swinging in. Not too concerned about much else. I mean, these decks without Chain Whirlers, I think, are not the best matchup against White Weenie. I mean, I guess if they can go, if they can curve perfectly into a Nullhide, and they can gum up the ground enough, maybe. But I'm just gonna swing into this again because it's ball game. Yep. All right. So game 1 down. I appreciate Tom's quick play. Here, I did not see the Chain Whirler, so I'm not gonna bring the Tocatli in. And I don't think his mana, he had the mana to support that Chain Whirler, so. Here we are. All right, so decent opener. Again, the old Zertai. I mean, in this one, we've got a pretty strong start, right? Like, I'm not exactly sure what I'm worried about. And not only that, he misses his land drop. So we've got a pretty baller hand here. As long as he doesn't draw land, I was thinking about just sitting there and not taking this because, you know, if he drew a land, he gets our gumming off the ground. I mean, with how aggressive of a hand I have, it's pretty good. There's that land, so I'm happy we did that. This is a 4/4, but at least doesn't replace himself. That's a nice Baffling End off the top ropes. But I think we're just swinging in at this point, guys. There's just no point to hold back. I'm contemplating what I need to flip this. I decide not to flip it. I'm not sure if that's the right choice or not. But at this point, with the Baffling End. Pretty good. Unless he draws a land and drops a Phoenix. So here's a decision time. I'm going to swing into this with both my marshals and lose, I think, both my marshals. But he decides to keep his Spellbreaker alive and not trip the marshal. I don't know if that was the right play, but again, I'll let people make their own plays and let them defend it without me here. So this is good. Now I just yank the token, drop the Vanguard, and now I am in really good shape here. Domri is good, by the way. That Domri is very good in these decks. It's a recurring use of removal, and also makes your guys bigger, and also speed, gives you mana. So swing in here. He decides to save that. Can't necessarily blame him, but it sets me up for a full swing here. You'll see what we got. I believe this guy's got a hell of a hand here with the mana from Domri, Nullhide, and the reason he decided to save that guy was to play the Ghalta. But we can just swing with 4 guys, go wide, go right around him, and punch him in the face. And GG's. And that's all we got, guys. So, yeah.